Want to help support Jonose Cigars? Two great ways to do it: smokeagoandshop.com and on Patreon. So click those links in the description below and help support this great cigar channel. And good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Joe at Jonose Cigars back for another review as we move right along towards the end of the month, and we've got a new cigar that was released at the TPE show back in February from Jake Wyatt Cigars. We have a brand new blend, the Maverick. This comes in a bundle of 10, and these cigars, very affordable, very moderately priced, and I'm liking the way this one looks. This is supposed to be a much fuller bodied cigar than what they have heretofore released, and this one does look pretty dark and bold. Of course, that's not necessarily an indication of the boldness of the flavor or of the power of the nicotine, whatever. We'll just have to see how it goes. Pretty light aromas on this one. We're getting some musty oak, malty cocoa, some barnyard in there, off of the foot. More of the same, except a more heavier emphasis on like a milk chocolate sweetness as opposed to just a cocoa. Blend on this one is interesting. We have Pennsylvania broadleaf in the filler, along with undisclosed origin of Criollo and Piloto tobaccos. I don't know where they came from. Piloto typically comes from the Dominican Republic, but they didn't specify what those fillers came from. And then we also have an undisclosed origin Corojo binder and a Mexican San Andreas wrapper leaf on the outside. So far, this comes in just a single vitola, a 6x54 Toro. Can't talk today. Straight Parejo stick. A little bit of ruddiness to it. Some noticeable veins. Very tight seams. Very beautiful and even looking roll. Let's go ahead and get this one cut. Check out the cold draw. Cold draw does have a nice feeling resistance, getting notes of very well-aged cedar, some mustiness, and little bits of earth. Let's go ahead and get this one toasted, see what we can find out. Off the first puff, very nice draw, good smoke output, medium full body texture smoke, a little bit of pepper grit coming through initially, some heavy like dark chocolate syrup sort of flavors coming through, not particularly sweet, but definitely have those sort of chocolate nuances, kind of a bittersweetness at this point. Some earthiness and dark black pepper coming through on the retrohale, followed by some sort of mesquite charcoal on the back end of that retro. Very nice looking start, tasting pretty good, smelling pretty good. Let this go until we get a little further into the first third. I'll see you then. Ten minutes in, well into the first third. Very, very nice looking ash, great burn line, snow white, a couple of minor dips in there, but all in all, burned like a champ so far. Okay, body is really picking up. It's basically full bodied now. It's got a heavy amount of oil on that smoke texture. It just feels like there is some real density in this smoke texture. You can just feel it all over your mouth. It's got a very long sort of espresso-like finish. Flavors on the draw at this point are a very dark bittersweet chocolate, some earth notes, lots of espresso, and a really interesting savory and gritty black pepper. Man, I am just, must be having a stroke or something today. Stumbling on my words like crazy. Anyway, on the retrohale, it's a fairly sharp black pepper on the retrohale, but it starts to subside pretty quickly, leaving with more dark chocolate, cocoa, more espresso powder, and I'm getting a finish that kind of reminds me of like a dark chocolate covered cherry which I kind of dig. That's a nice note. All right, we'll let this go until they get towards the middle of the cigar. I'll see you then. "40 minutes in, just about at the halfway point. Burn is still very, very good. Only ashed it one time so far. Draw is just about perfect now. Really has opened up nicely. There was a little bit of snugness in that first third. Really wasn't bad. I would have been fine with it if it stayed that way. But now it's opened up really, really well. And we're just getting a lot of very dense, very full-bodied smoke at this point. Black pepper, not quite so intense or gritty anymore. Still there, but it's kind of a supporting flavor as opposed to one of those core flavors. This really nice chocolatey espresso, almost like a fudge brownie, like a really deep fudge brownie is starting to come through as like the core flavor now. Heavily emphasized with this earthy and chocolatey espresso. Just a really great mix of flavors. Very, very, it's smooth while still very intense. That's right in my wheelhouse, and I'm really liking the way these draw flavors are performing. Not super layered, not extremely complex, but what I am getting is clean, it's smooth, it really is packing a punch in all the right ways, and I'm liking it quite a bit. On the retrohale, some savory mesquite charcoal, more earth, black pepper, some woody mustiness coming through at the end, and little hints of white pepper, and still getting some of that zingy chocolate-covered candied cherries. Boy, that is really good. I'm impressed so far. And like I said, while it's not super complex or layered, what we do have is really, really satisfying. All right, let this go until I get towards the end of the cigar. I'll see you then. All right, we are an hour and 15 minutes in, down to the final third here, still burning really well. Just ashed for the third time. Ashed pretty regularly, 1.5 inches each time. Draw, smoke output, still great. Still very full-bodied, very dense smoke, still maintaining a pretty intense oil presence on the smoke texture. Flavors as we're starting to get into the final third. We're getting some really dark, almost blackened sugar. We're getting charred marshmallow. We're getting a lot of toasted oak. We're getting some sort of sweet bready notes that kind of remind me of pumpernickel bread. And the black pepper, espresso, and intense dark chocolate is still coming through on the draw. On the retrohale, a great oaky charcoal, black pepper, white pepper following right behind that. Wow. Some citrus zest coming through in there as well. And I guess that's about it. But I'm very happy with the flavors and the aromas off of this cigar. Very, very impressed by how full-bodied and intense this one was without becoming astringent or harsh at any point. Take your time with this cigar like you should with any cigar, and you'll get more clean, more true flavors as opposed to just a bland, harsh, biting sort of acrid taste that a lot of people will get when you smoke a cigar too fast. Don't do that. Take your time. Cigar smoking is all about taking your time and enjoying the little details, and this is a prime example of that. Thank you so much for tuning in for this review. As always, don't forget to subscribe. Click that icon in the bottom right corner if you're watching on YouTube. If you happen to be watching on Rumble, just look for the subscribe button towards the top right of the screen. Don't forget to follow Jonose Cigars on Instagram, and please don't forget to follow my content on Cigar Public. It's a great website, and there's a lot of great material on there, not just from yours truly, but a lot of other really good authors and reviewers are on that website, and I highly recommend you checking that one out. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe. Didn't like something, give me a thumbs down. Just let me know what you didn't like about it so I can do some fine-tuning on this review and other videos on the channel. Hope you guys had a great month of May. Here's to June. Looking forward. Till next time, smoke a good one.